Hey everybody, Michael Griswold here, and this video is addressed to realtors who are having a hard time in this real estate market. And I'm going to talk to you very candidly about what opportunity there is for you in this market without any hype, without any BS. Just very straightforward from my own experience of what I am doing right now. I am not a realtor, by the way, but what I am doing right now to make money in this market. Now, you're probably not hard to guess that the answer is short sales, right? Because I'm sure this has happened to you if you're a realtor. The realtors that work for me and that I work with tell me this all the time. Here's what happens. You spend your marketing dollar, right? Your hard-earned marketing dollar these days to get some clients. And you pre-screen them, and then you go to sign them up. And you find out that in order for you to list this house, you have to list it $30,000 above what it's going to sell for. What an absolute waste of time. Well, what are your options? You could just pass on the listing, or you could go and do a short sale yourself. Well, that's one idea. There's two ideas. You could pass on the listing, which is a waste of your money, and you could do the listing. You could do the short sale yourself, which would be an enormous waste of your time. Now, by saying that, I don't mean to discredit any realtors out there that are working short sales, because I'm sure there are many out there who are doing it and doing it well. My point is that that is not what you have been trained to do. Your training is in the marketing of and selling of real estate. When you go and start negotiating deals, you're taking away from the profit center of your business. Your business is getting new clients, getting them listed, and getting buyers, right? That's why you got into this business. Going into doing short sales and negotiating them, spending hours on the phone with the bank, only to find out that you need another piece of paperwork, only to find out that the negotiator's been changed, only to find out that, oh, sorry, we sold that to another bank, only to find out that blah, 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 blah. If you've done any short sales, you know that every one of those examples is not far-fetched and pretty common. So what do you do? Well, there's another option, and that is to get a company to negotiate your short sale for you. Now, there are plenty of them out there, and some of them are good and some of them aren't, just like anything, just like realtors. I mean, some of the realtors watching this are better than others. The point is if you expend your dollar marketing-wise, you don't want to waste that, do you? And you don't want to go and find another line of work just because it's a racket out there now. It's too tough. I mean, look, man, if you've been a realtor for any time, there was a time when you were making a lot of money, weren't you? And you'd probably like to be making a lot of money again. The good news is that you can. Because there are so many properties out there. I mean, you can't turn on television, you can't turn on CNN without finding out how many properties are in foreclosure. You can't turn on the television out there without hearing that over and over and over. Well, what needs to happen? Those properties need to be sold. They need to be sold, and they need to be sold to people who can qualify for them. And they need to be sold at a price that makes it attractive. And here's what a short sale does for you, in case you're not aware. Let's say that the property that you're working with is worth $200,000, okay? But the homeowner owes $250,000 because the market has dropped. It's not uncommon. You've probably seen this more than once. What to do? Well, what you can do is take on that listing, and you can market that property and do your job that you are good at. You can market that property and find a buyer for $200,000. Well, what happens then? Because what's owed is $250,000, we only have a buyer for $200,000. You need to get paid because it's your commission. So the net of it's probably only going to be $185,000, right? Now you're looking at a $65,000 spread. Here's what you do. You get a company like mine, or some other. Listen, and by the way, this, although it is a plug for my business, there's so much business out there that whoever you go with is fine. Just go with someone to do this for you who can do it well. Anyway, there's a $65,000 spread on this, right? Because if it's owed $250,000, the bank's only going to net $185,000. what happens is a company like mine will go in and talk to this lender and say, look, here's the deal. If you foreclose on this, you aren't going to get $250,000. That's not what the market bears. You're already going to lose. I hope that makes sense. I've talked to some realtors before who've had a hard time understanding this, so I'm going to explain it one more time just to be absolutely certain, because it is a little bit counterintuitive at first. If the bank is owed $250,000, then when they foreclose, it doesn't become more valuable, right? It's not like now that they own it, they can sell it for $250,000. They're only going to be able to sell it for what the property is worth. So they already are facing a loss. The question is whether they want to take that loss now or whether they want to take that loss 9 months from now and have it be bigger. Because here's what happens. If the bank does foreclose on it, then now they have to service that note because they have to pay their investor that paid for this house, right? So what they're doing is now for months, as long as they own it, they are paying for it, which subtracts more and more and more and more money. So what a company like mine does, because we understand the industry, because we understand the jargon, because we understand how to get through the phone systems and who to talk to and what documentation is required, we can call them up and say, look, we've got a buyer for this property and we're ready to close within 30, 45 days. What I need you to do is I need you to send me an agreement to discount what you're owed to accept this. Now, if you could do that, if you could be the realtor in your area who is the short sale specialist, and you didn't have to then go and spend hours and hours and hours on the phone, negotiating, faxing paperwork, getting paperwork, if you could just be the guy or the girl that everyone comes to in your area, and then have the negotiation part taken care of for you, do you think that you'd be able to increase your business? My guess is probably yeah. Because unfortunately, so many of the properties that are in pre-foreclosure are going to end up in foreclosure and not sold, which doesn't benefit anyone. So, anyway, Michael Griswold, that's all for now. If you'd like some more information, you can put in your name and email address, or you can subscribe to this feed, and we can get in touch with you. Thanks.